Imagine the world in 10 years' time. Global trade has pretty much ground to a halt. Ports around the world are almost idle. There are shortages of all kinds of goods. Shops are empty. The United States and China have raised tariffs so drastically that they've killed off bilateral trade. In China, Harley-Davidson motorbikes have become rare collector's items. American whiskey is contraband. The market has gone underground. Or imagine this: relations between the European Union and the US don't look any better. A trade war has crippled their economies. GDP has plummeted and unemployment has soared. Daniel Stelter, are these realistic scenarios?
It's certainly conceivable. After all, protectionism predates Donald Trump. Since the financial crisis of 2007, we've seen a rise in protectionism worldwide. We never really recovered from the crisis. People in Germany don't see that because the economy here is doing well. It's booming. But at the global level, growth has been significantly lower since then, and that leads to tensions. Trump is merely a symptom of a more general development, not the cause.
Daniel Stelter is an economist and former management consultant. As an author and blogger, he takes a critical view of world economic developments. What might happen if things continue to escalate with more tariffs and counter-tariffs?
China's economy is cooling right now. That's bad because China has taken on a huge pile of debt. If the economy weakens, the Chinese central bank will have to lower interest rates. That means the Chinese currency will weaken as well. Trump will interpret that as the Chinese getting even more aggressive. In Europe, the economy is softening as well, so the European Central Bank will have to stick to its policy of easy money, and that will drive the euro lower. That in turn will lead Trump to say the Europeans are ramping it up and pushing their exports even more.
For some 4 decades, the G7 group of rich industrialized nations tried to tackle economic problems through cooperation. The members promoted multilateral trade agreements as a solid foundation for international commerce. But that was then. Donald Trump does not play along. His slogan is America First. Multilateralism is not his thing. He's backed out of a number of treaties and agreements and turned trade conflicts into an all-out trade war. How could it come to this with one against everyone else?
He's carrying out what he promised to do. He's also being very bold. China's countermeasures target precisely those people who voted for him. EU measures do so too, by imposing tariffs on Harley-Davidsons and whiskey. The aim is to hit the states that voted Republican. But he carries on nonetheless.
Might other countries decide to follow his example?
I don't think other countries will decide to pursue a policy of protectionism. I do think some politicians will seek to copy him. Trump is showing other populists the way, how they might win elections.
Tariffs and counter-tariffs can easily spiral out of control. Such tit-for-tat measures are not good for the world economy. Companies become reluctant to invest. Does it really have to be this way?
In a trade war, everybody loses by definition. But those who have a trade surplus lose much more than those with a deficit. I think the EU's position is wrong. The Eurozone should not maintain the kind of surplus spearheaded by Germany. We should reduce it. And to do so, we have to spend more at home. Companies and the state need to invest more. But instead, the German state is letting infrastructure fall apart. We're in 28th place out of 32, according to the OECD, when it comes to going digital. So there's plenty to do. We could repair Germany and show that we're playing our part and trying to avoid a trade war. That would be the intelligent response.
The response Daniel Stelter proposes would be a way to prevent the dire scenarios of conflict and economic collapse from becoming reality.